I don't think a single investor should have to roll the dice on their financial freedom.
So what's the timing of the change? I think this is a really important topic because I talk about cap rates a lot. I talk about market trends a lot, just generically, not necessarily focusing on rent control. And a really important thing to understand is that anytime there's a fluctuation in the market, change is not immediate. There was a lot of questions in mid-2008 of, hey, what's going to happen to values? What's going to happen to cap rates when interest rates go up? Is my value going to go down? And what should I expect? Should I sell right now? Should I worry about drastic changes in my valuation? And the thing is that our market adjusts at a pretty slow pace. It takes about 6 to 9 months for the market to even adjust to a change like this. And then another few months, sometimes 6 to 9 months, to really observe that change. And so just like rising interest rates, just like a change in broader economics, just like rent control, nothing's going to happen immediately. This is going to be something that we're going to observe over time. And unfortunately, we're in this kind of shifting market already. So it'll be hard to isolate the rent control variable alone because we might have changes in the market. There might be changes in value that are more natural cycles of change in value that occur parallel with rent control, not just because of rent control. So that's important to understand, that you're not going to see a dramatic drop in your value just because the math said that that could happen. This is going to be market dictated. It's going to be dictated by, do a bunch of people put their properties on the market and now it's oversaturated with properties for sale? That will impact your values. Do interest rates also go up at the same time? That will impact your values. So it's just important to take things in stride and understand that this is not going to be an immediate change, and it's all about investor perception. So the kind of important thing is that when you look at my trends of the less than 5% per year increases in rent and your cap on rent as a result of rent control, that's not that substantial. There's a lot of perception, though, in the market that what happens if they lower that? What happens if it's 7% goes to 4%? Or you can think of a lot of other dramatic circumstances. But that's where the real perception comes in. The math might show that you can increase your rents just fine year by year and not ever be impacted by rent control. But if the general perception is that this property type has a higher risk and people don't necessarily want to invest in it compared to an alternative investment, that will impact these GRMs. That will impact the values overall, but it'll take some time. And the last thing I want to finish with is that my thought on the immediate impacts of rent control is that if your properties are rented at market right now, or if your properties are rented within 10% of market, I don't see any really drastic immediate impacts to your values. That doesn't say over the long term as perceptions change that there won't be impacts, but I see the most dramatic impacts to value in the immediate short term being properties that are 10% or more below market, because now you can't catch up. If you're planning on holding long term, you can still catch up year after year. But if you're 10% or more below market, I think that's where we're going to truly see the biggest magnitude of change. And I think that is important to know when you're looking at your portfolio and what your options might be.
I don't think a single investor should have to roll the dice on their financial freedom.